So I haven't had the chance to update too much with what's going on with me. You can see I had the scar from my complete thyroid removal. Would be 2 years ago this November, and yeah, it's been a rough go. I've been suffering with issues from thyroid eye disease since right after radioactive uptake therapy, where it caused my thyroid to go from being overactive to really overactive, and my Graves' disease got worse. So bad so that it started affecting my eyes and attacking the tissue around my eyes. And the reason for that is that the muscle tissue and fat masses around our eyes are a lot like the tissue that makes up our thyroid. So there's some people who have to deal with ongoing thyroid eye disease with or without a thyroid. And I am one of the lucky few who had my thyroid removed, and still dealing with the thyroid eye disease. I was really blessed last year to be in one of the first phases of groups of people who got to try Tepezza, and Tepezza is the only medical treatment aside from prednisone and steroids for treating thyroid eye disease at all. And it can be really debilitating. It can lead to blindness if it's untreated. It causes super bad swelling. Like all of this excess skin is from years of the last couple of years of excess swelling and stuff like that. So when I went through Tepezza last year, after the second infusion, it's a series of 8 infusions that take depending, 2 to 4 hours depending. And after the second infusion, so every 3 weeks you have another infusion. After about 6 weeks, I really had marked improvement. Everything just got better. I didn't have a lot of crazy side effects from the Tepesa, other than the fact that I was able to see again. I almost went blind. Just my quality of life was terrible. And anyway, so I finished that between May and October last year, and I was good for 7 or 8 months until this is June, so until early May of this year. So I was okay for 6, 7 months, and then, well, I guess closer to 8. But anyway, about a month ago, I started having issues again with the eye disease. Even right now, it's flaring up. I'm not necessarily getting the puffiness, but I get a lot of the pressure behind my eyes and build up, and it just hurts. I get the weepy eyes in the mornings. It's not as bad as it was, and I know some people have it way worse. I know that Tepezza has done its job. It's helped keep things at bay. It's minimized this flare up, but it's still pretty wicked. I have days I can't really drive. I'm lucky if I can read for a few hours. My vision's still blurry and double at times in both eyes. And I went to my neuro-ophthalmologist yesterday, and my tests just from a month ago when I saw her, the field tests and everything else were no good. So I'm on the verge of risking vision loss again. This flare-up is not as bad as it was pre-Tepezza, and actually I may be able to do another series of infusions with Tepezza. It's because it's still kind of a new medication in the United States. It's just a matter of research and being a guinea pig, and I'm all for being a guinea pig if it's going to help. I know that the first 8 infusions were amazing, and it helped me be able to get back to work and be functional again up until about a month ago. Luckily, we've been working remotely due to the pandemic, and that's been a blessing. Otherwise, I would still be working. I was unemployed for a long time because I was a flight attendant. I just wasn't able to work with the change in altitudes, causing my eyes to kind of pop out of my sockets. It sounds gross, but it happened more than I care to admit, and I just wasn't safe for me to fly anymore. I haven't flown since then. I haven't really done a lot of change in altitudes in the last few years, as much as I love hiking and traveling and all that stuff, but it's almost too much for me now, since having my thyroid out. Not only am I just tired a lot and all the time, and now I'm dealing with these eye issues again. I am trying to go through the insurance approval process. I have different insurance. The first time around, I had a state Medicare plan that actually covered 100% of the expenses after a huge massive fight last year. Several appeals and fights, and it took 4 months for it just to get approved, going back and forth between me, my doctor, and the state's insurance doctors and all that. And when it was approved, I had little to no out-of-pocket costs. I had in-home infusion. It was pretty great and a true blessing. Anybody going through this, definitely fight your insurance companies, because it is a hard process and it's not easy getting approval for $250,000 medication at all. Obviously, whether you're having in-home infusions or going to an infusion center, it's just so hard. And luckily, Tepezza has some really great what they call patient advocate. They call them PAMs, patient advocate people, and they are really great in being that access point between Tepezza, my doctor, and my insurance company. On top of that, so definitely take advantage of those. The only way to really get Tepezza is to go through a doctor who is approved on Tepezza's website, and kind of having your doctor put in that prior authorization for you to begin with, to even be a candidate for the medication. So it can be difficult to get. I'm trying to get approval for a second round, and I don't know why that's going right now, but I know that I need to start that soon if I can. If not, it's going to just be prednisone for ever and ever and ever. And I'm not enjoying that prospect either, because weight gain and everything else that goes with the prednisone, I don't know if that's quality of life I want either. So I'll take it, because that's all I can get at this point right now. But we'll see. I'll update as the process goes. About 3 weeks ago, my doctor, my neuro-ophthalmologist, put in the request for me to resubmit for Tepezza for a second round, and they have so far said that would be okay. It's just at this point figuring out the financing of it, which is the more tragic part. So I'm hoping to get they do offer some financial assistance and grants and co-pays and things like that, but I still, if I'm going through my insurance, may still have to pay up to $8,000 or $9,000 out of pocket that I didn't have to pay around the first time. But if that means I can get the treatment, I will have to try to figure that out one way or another. But that's the sad end of our medical system, is that it's a practice. There's no cure for these diseases. There's no anything really. And I know there are more medications that are being worked on, being tried, and more opportunities for people to take part in trials, clinical trials, things like that. So that's definitely a blessing. But I know for my own experience, it's definitely a lot of trial and error, and just hoping you can get through the next day sometimes, not knowing if you're going to be able to see when you get up, not knowing how puffy your eyes are going to be, not knowing if you're going to be comfortable, just trying to do your daily tasks and things like that. So anyway, I've definitely would love to get plastic surgery on all this stuff, but if this thyroid eye disease is not going to be something that's ever going to go away, which at this point I'm thinking it definitely won't. I don't think I want to spend the money on personal appearances and things like that if this is just going to be a recurrent lifelong issue. And that's kind of where it's at. I really wish there was more opportunity for research and things like that, and people to get the treatment, because there is a large group of people who have undiagnosed thyroid eye disease and just don't realize it, and it's a struggle. I look at people like Whoopi Goldberg and other celebrities who obviously, have their thyroid issues as well, and I think even Wendy Williams, and there's a long list of other people out there who are celebrities or well-known influencers or things like that who also deal with their struggles. And I just know for me it's helpful for me to just kind of record these and share my experiences and go from there. So that's kind of where things are at currently. I'm just waiting for updates in the next week about my insurance and the possibility of doing a second round of Tepezza treatment, and hoping that we can start there, and see if Tepezza is gonna have to be recurrent, or if I'm gonna have these flare-ups again. This is the first flare-up I've had since I had Tepezza infusions last year. So again, it's been 6 to 8 months, I guess, since I finished Tepezza, and things were great. And it's a little slide back, but it's not as bad as it was before I had the treatment, when I was just taking prednisone. So the prednisone is helping now, just in keeping my optical nerve from being over swollen and keeping me able to see well enough to drive when I'm comfortable, and work from home and do those things. So it's definitely, I guess if I had to choose between the two, I would rather be in the position I'm in now, where I'm able to at least take the prednisone and function, than where I was at pre-Tepezza last year, where I was out of work for a couple of years. I was on medical leave, and it wasn't safe for me to go back to work at all. So due to this disease, and disability won't cover anything because it's a disease. It's not terminal. It's not considered a disability, even unless you really do go blind from it. There's not much that can be done for us. So we have to find ways to deal with it, hopefully have good insurance if we can, get what treatment we can, and just support one another through these processes, because really our outreach and sharing what we're going through, and helping people with resources or questions, or maybe there's other people that are going through these same issues. That's kind of why I do this too. It helps me to keep track of where I'm going, what I've been doing, and moving forward. And I haven't updated as much as I'd like to, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Like I said, I'm in the middle of a flare-up, and yesterday was super puffy. Today's not nearly as bad, but it's still kind of wacky. So but I have a lot of pressure behind my eyes, and they're red. It's really kind of hard to tell, but anyway, that's pretty much all I have to update for now. As I figure this insurance stuff out, I'll try to post some more updates and go from there. But please reach out with any questions, or if there's anything that I can provide in the way of answers. I'll do my best. I'm not a doctor, so know that for sure, but I'm always happy to talk to people who are going through these crazy thyroid eye issues. So anyway, thank you guys, and thanks for watching my update. Bye.